Hello and welcome to Dreams and Wings, and I do apologise for the question in the chat there if everything was coming through, because I started the stream and one bit of software was saying nothing happening mate, and another bit of software was saying yeah it's live. So I just wanted to make sure there, but thanks everyone for joining. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here in beautiful Squamish. There's the Squadron Dog Duxford down there, just having a look out. This is absolutely gorgeous scenery. It's quite handy actually. Mountains, check. Forests, check. Lots of areas for people to injure themselves, check. And in town we've got a hospital with a helipad, so it works out really nicely. Quick check of the chat. Aidan, good to see you mate. Hope you are well. Justin Wombleway, Vince Viking, and Yigit, you're going to have to tell me how to pronounce that, but hello to everybody. It's great to have you here. So just to quickly recap, what we're using here is the high performance group. Let me just lock off the head tracking so my head isn't bobbing around. There we go. We are using the high performance group H145 with the action pack expansion, and then the davierosoft random and anywhere mod, which is free. It still blows me away this is free considering how much that's in there. And I'm also using, and I'm just going to get my facts right here, so we've got the HPG Airbus H145 sound system by M. Gonzalez. I've been using that for quite some time, and that just adds a bit of realism to it as well. And then I'm also, for the first time on this stream, going to be using, and I guess it's pronounced, it's either pronounced kickers or Cecils, depending on what part of the world you come from, but it's CICERS, and this is a voice pack. It's the HPG Airbus H145 Action Pack HEMS Random and Anywhere Realistic Voice Pack. So it's another add-on for the Random and Anywhere mod, and it was actually recommended to me by Andrea, who is the genius behind the Random and Anywhere mod. So if he says it's good, it's good. So I'm going to use it in here. Not used it before. I did quickly test it before, just in case anything went horribly wrong. So I've heard a little bit of it, and it definitely improves the voices. So be interesting to see how that works. Right. Okay. So quick look at the chat. Graham, welcome. Tika, welcome. It's the first time I caught your live stream. Thanks to you. I'm hooked on it. Ah, brilliant. Fantastic. Well, it's great to have you along. I'm utterly hooked. I never flew helicopters until I got into the H145, really. And then and that was just sightseeing in the sim, because it's a beautiful world to explore by helicopter. And then, of course, I got the the action pack, started flying HEMS missions, and then that's it. I'm utterly hooked. Love it to bits. Hi, the pronounce is a hard C. It's the man himself. Great to have you in the chat. So, Keckers, or Kecker6, he is the chap behind the voice mod that we're going to be using. Hi, the pronounce is a hard C. I don't know how to describe it in English. No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. That kind of makes sense. I didn't know if it was kind of like an Italian. So it's kickers, I guess. Right. Okay. Right. I need to get. That's the thing about doing a live stream. I kind of get excited talking to you guys, and excited about sharing this stuff and talking about it, and I forget I've actually got to do something. So let's have a look. So I need to take that off. So we're up here. This is the Burning Blue Design Squamish Airport, and we're up here on the helicopter, kind of emergency helicopter pads up here. I thought we'd start from here. Gives a bit of room. We have got some people joining as well. We're on the Western European server. I'm pretty sure that's probably Aidan over there in the Chinook. Always good to have a Chinook along. They can carry lots of kit and lots of biscuits. So yeah, you are more than welcome to join. We're going to be flying random missions. I don't know how long for. Depends if you get bored or if I get knackered. But we'll just keep going for a while, and who knows where we're going to end up, because it is random and anywhere. So we could be, who knows what's going to happen. Right, let's do a bit of housekeeping first of all. So, do you want to blow it? Yes. There we go. Right, that's ducks for the dog in. That's parallel 42 camp out. You can do a whole load of stuff. You can build a nice little camp. I'm just using it for ducks for the dog. Right, so we've done that. What else do I need to do? I need to load the chaps in. So bear with me. Wrong one. Let's go here, and so we'll... the mod will sort that out for us anyway, but I'm just making sure. I don't want to break anything. I've got 100% fuel, so that's all good to go. So let's go back to there. Close the door, and then we'll close. He's there. Close that. Howie for sound. Can you hear the helicopter sounds okay? Haha, it's the Huey in my favourite repaint as well. Look at that. It's a Canadian repaint, so it's spot on for being in Canada. Yeah, sounds okay. They look like they should be okay. Kickers is frogs in Dutch. Okay. Okay, TK, you live in this area. You are so lucky. I've not been here in real life. Funny enough, someone I know, not long after I did the Squamish video, was posting pictures on Facebook of a holiday that they were having in this area, and wow, it just looked absolutely fantastic. Right, okay, let's get back on plan. So we'll come out of that. So we've loaded everyone in. I now need to get the mission set up. First thing I'm going to do is turn the battery on. Just checking my physical lever there. Okay. And then we can turn the radio on because we need that to connect. We're not going to be using the TDS GTN XI 750, but just get that all set up as well. So we go into the mission page. Let me lock this off again because it's a... There we go. So, random and anywhere. This is a test build. Now, try contact to ensure the volumes of the voice pack will not blow your ears. Yeah, I quickly tested it before, but I only heard one thing, and it didn't sound too loud. But if it is loud, then give me a shout and let me know, because I don't want to cause anyone any discomfort. Right, lost my train of thought then. Yes. I was going to show you something. Andrea has very kindly, he's got his own Discord now for this mod. It's such a big mod. He's putting so much work into it. There's so many people involved in it as well, who are helping, who are contributing. People like Kickers or Kickers. Is it Kickers or Keckers? You got to, because I'm reading Keckers on the chat, but Kickers on the other thing. And I do want to make sure I get it right. But anyway, these people are involved. He's got his own Discord, and by the magic of this, if I do this correctly, if I remember, so rusty with these things. There we go. That's his Discord there. I've just put it in the chat. If you use Random and Anywhere, if you're thinking of using it, if you're serious about getting it, that is the Discord for this mod. So it's well worth heading over there. And there's there's test builds in there and lots of information. It is okay, Keka. Thank you. I shall refer to you as Keka. So yes, Discord, well worth having a look. Right, let's get this started up. So we need to press that. So that's now connected. So we're going to go, there's two things I want to do. I want to wind that back a little bit so that we have a bit more action and a little less flying around. That's all good. Just checking. So there's so many different things you can set on this. It's just absolutely fantastic. Technical page here. Oh no, wrong one. That's what I want to do. Home page. That's all good. If we go into settings, there are some things that are persistent, and then there are some things that you can just change for the mission. But these are all things. This is a free mod. And look at all this stuff that you can... I mean, I feel I'm only really scratching the surface. You can change how many vehicles are going to attend, all sorts of things. And obviously it's random and anywhere, but also there are some things you can override manually. If there was an area you particularly wanted to go to, there was a live stream some time ago that we did in Scotland where Andrea was actually on the stream, and we selected a point in the mountains that we wanted to fly to run a mission. So you can do all that anyway. So let's go single player. Okay, so we're just waiting now. Now one of the things, let's recenter that. One of the things this will do is it is simulating time. So you don't instantly get a mission. You don't instantly have the lads coming back with the patient on the gurney. It's simulating the time it's taking for these things to happen. So at the moment we're quite literally here, no dispatch received, we're just waiting for a mission to come in. Yeah, Andrew, I will be pretty lost without this, and I'm sure it will work. I hold out hope. I know Andrea put so much work into this. I would be amazed if you know, if it doesn't get up and running. Looks like we've got a lot of other helicopters. Let me just quickly. There we got Ado. I can't quite see that one, and I can't quite see that one. I'll leave the tags on for the moment. Rob, is this the H145 with the MS default tele settings or the old HPG settings? Vince, this is the new settings, and it's the latest kind of beta, experimental, whatever you want to call it, from HPG. Mazinki, there we go. Right, failed to retrieve location. Okay, error. Failed to retrieve location. If error persists, check mission minimum maximum ranges. Okay, so I'm going to, just to be on the safe side, I could, because of where we are, maybe because it's quite sparse out here, I just need to wind the let me just lock that off again, just wind the distances out a little bit perhaps. There we go. Okay, so we'll just do that again. Always worth getting it right. Keke, yes, you can. You can. There's various things. There's other things that we'll see later, but there's things that you can do so that you know, like I was saying, there's kind of manual overrides, if you like. There's things that you can do to change it. I'm finding it quite helpful because I'm waffling and catching up on the chat. Yeah, Andrew, the HPG helicopters are fantastic. Right, here we go. So we've got a mission. Multiple injured reported in road traffic collision. Situation unclear. The situation will.
Cabin preparations, please wait.
The situation will change as we go. Okay, just have a quick look. Right, let's get some lights on, and we'll have
preparing for engine starting sequence 1-2.
So co-pilot hops out. Interestingly, no Frank, no ground crew. There goes the co-pilot, finally talking to me.
Area clear, ready to start engine 1.
Cabin secured. All set to proceed.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine.
Jolly good.
Engine clear.
So we'll start engine 2. Multiple injury reported, road traffic collision situation clear. Police, so now we've got police on the way. So again, it'll update you other vehicles, other assets that are on the way.
All engines started successfully.
Okay, so let's have pressure pumps on.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
That's alright, mate. You check for the leaks. Don't want no leaks. Leaks are bad. Okay, that's so good. Just going to quickly check something. I'm surprised that we didn't get the ground crew.
Okay, all good.
Can't remember where the ground crew option is. Let's have a quick look. Ground operations requires industries. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Yeah, can't see. There is a. There we go. So we've got even more settings here. I'm just looking to see. So normally at the start you'd get Frank, and Frank is kind of your ground crew, and he does a few things for you. In the testing I was doing just before, he didn't appear once. And then he appeared. Jesus, okay. Someone's getting a bit close then. And then he did appear, but technical crew present at boarding. So yeah, presence at boarding, presence at deboarding. I'm just going to check that. So that was set to be on, so maybe it's just one of those things. One of those things. Okay, let's go back here. We are trying to save a patient after all. Okay. It will also talk through checklists as well. Whole load of stuff that you can do that just adds to the immersion. Right. So we did that. We did that. We did that. That's all on. That's all good.
Test okay.
Let's come down here. Come on, get the click spot. It's certainly a lot easier using the traditional head tracking than using the Toby. Engines to flight. Check the instruments. That's all good. What's the weather like? Weather. This is live weather, by the way. It's not live time, but it's live weather. Okay, that's all good. Right. That's a bit disconcerting. There we go. Head tracking locked up for a moment. Do you still fly the H160? I do, but not as much as this, purely because it doesn't have the action pack, and that's kind of what I do. Good evening all. What's that? Why can yes? I can't wait for the MS Tilo training as a 50-year-old Xbox Series S user. Love you, stream. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Yeah, interested to see how the missions in MSFS 2024 transpire and what they're like. Sparky, how are you doing, mate? It's an honour to have you here. Sparky, if you don't know, is a streamer, YouTuber, Twitch. He does it all, and he does flight sim stuff and all sorts of things, actually. And apart from that, he's just a good guy. Right, I need to stop waffling and we need to get flying. So we are quite close to the building there. How are sounds, by the way? All good? Centurion, good evening, sir. We're not in your neck of the woods, but it's kind of similar. Okay, let's get going. So, holding on the trim release. So I'm thinking of the buildings behind and the trees in front. This is quite a tight spot. Wind is from over there, and yeah, 2 knots. I just realised I don't think the windsock is... Oh, it might be actually. No, the windsock isn't working. The wind is 2 knots from 173, so we'll disregard that. And I'm looking at the little arrow just there, because it's a helpful helicopter. It tells you where it is. Okay, I'm going to concentrate for a second and shut up. Thank God I hear you cry. Let's just close that. Clear that. Clear the helicopters over there. Let's open the old pad again. Some low frame rates. Interesting. I wonder if that will clear up. Possibly because of the multiplayer. We'll see how that goes.
VTOS. VY.
I always find... yeah, that's a bit better. I always find if things are going to go wrong, they always go wrong on a live stream. And that pretty awful frame rate is not something I've seen. Actually, no, that's a live. I think I remember one live stream where there were a lot of helicopters all around a helipad. And I saw a similar thing, but it seems to have eased up a bit now. Yeah, it's a bit smoother. Right. And this gorgeous scenery.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
So the first thing I'm going to do is turn off.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
That. We are up in the bumpy mountains, and that thing is going to drive us all absolutely up the wall. Right, let me just pop it onto autopilot for the moment, so I can show you something. There we go. So let's go back to lock off the head tracking. So if we go to medical diagnostic page, this is like an ongoing update on how the patient is doing. So patient unknown, dispatch road traffic collision, that's what it is. Status upon medical arrival, we don't know yet because no one's got there. Patient assigned emergency code 5. So code 5 or code 3 and above is no risk to life. So this guy is wasting.
With no paramedic. Police confirmed on scene.
Oh, that's good. So I got thrown. I was listening to that voice because that's the new voice back. Yeah. So 5 is everything's tickety-boo, nothing to worry about. If it was code 1, it's immediate risk of death, which is a bit worrying. Patient conditions, life score 0, meaning let's just cancel the flight. 100 meaning why are you wasting my time. Patient conditions 31. So not great, but hanging in there, and obviously not going to die any minute soon. What I love about this is, and you kind of heard it there, that was an update on the let's go back to the dispatch screen. That was an update on what other assets are arriving there. So we've got an ambulance that's reached the scene. Crew requires further assistance. There we go. Sim just froze up there for a moment. Oh, we're not far away actually. Police have arrived as well. Symptoms, pain and numb arms. Well, don't you worry, we can sort that out.
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient. Infos are available on tablet.
Excellent.
We can confirm or change later.
We'll have a look at that when we land. Okay, let's go back here. Let's get feet back on the anti-torque pedals, and there we go. Kekka, these sounds are really cool, by the way. The voices, yeah, the voices are really natural. I like that. So I think I can see some smoke ahead, which may or may not be our target, but let's have a look. Where's the wind? The wind's coming from over that way, so I need to bear that in mind. I'm glad the FPS is sorted out. That would be that could have been a bit of an issue. The frames could have been because of the balloon behind you. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. Yeah, so that looks about right. And the wind is coming from that way, so I'm going to close the tablet so we can have a better look. And let's take the autopilot off. Oh dear. Don't think you saw that. My monitor just suddenly went black and it came back on again. That could be a problem. That was strange. Okay. So the wind is from over that way, but yeah, okay, let's slip round. Just looking out for those cables as well. We've got some cables. Just looking for a good place to land. It's hard to tell with the gradient. Yeah, that looks fairly flat.
Reasonably close.
There we go. Okay. Engines into idle.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
Oh, let's just pop outside. I hate it. I don't know why that comes up. Whenever I select this view, I get that. Actually, let's. I've got a better idea. Let's go for this one. We are on a bit of a slant there, aren't we? Oh well. So, Matey Boy 1 is coming out. The beauty of HEMS. Is that we carry medical, basically we're taking critical hospital care to the patient rather than fetching the patient and bringing them back to the hospital and then they get the critical care. That's really what HEMS is all about. So the chaps have dismounted. This is the accident over here. If you saw the last stream or you've seen some of the videos, you'll notice that the vehicles, you can get the extra vehicle packs so that they're more geographically correct. So we've now got some, I won't say American because we're in Canada, but we have got some more appropriate vehicles than if you had the British ambulance and all that sort of thing. So here's our prang, and that is a prang. You don't sound too good. So the lads are going to work on him, and as I said at the beginning, this is kind of real time. They're not suddenly going to bend down and say, oh yeah, he's ill, let's get him back. They're going to work on him. So let's get back to the heli-whopper. There we go. That, I believe, is a is to expedite loading. So if you didn't want to wait, you can press that button and you can load them up. But I'm going to lock that. I'm going to get me mug of tea. I'll tell you what I should be doing. Shutting the engines off. TK, yes. I've got the M. Gonzalez sound mod on now. Yes, Louis, you're right. Yeah, I put it into idle. I popped outside to show you all the accident, and then by now you'd have seen me pop back in and turn the engines off. Now, something I am going to do is turn back on head tracking. Let's have avionics off. My screen just went again. And that off, and we will have that off. I'm going to keep keeping the battery on purely because I don't want to disconnect the radio from the mission and fail the mission. I appreciate that in real life
Patient life signs are fading.
Okay, that's not good. I appreciate in real life you probably closed down a lot more of the electronics than I have. Just checking, yeah, the avionics are off. And then if we look over here, we can see our electrics here, and we can see what the effect of all that is. Just checking on the chat. I'm in Vancouver and I fly out of Squamish and Pemberton many times. ATPL Rotary Wing. Wow, Tom. Is that in real life? Let me lock this off again. I'm not just saying this because you've joined, because I was talking about this before, but this area is just absolutely stunning. I love the Highlands of Scotland. I love the mountains and all that kind of stuff. The forests, and this just looks beautiful. It looks beautiful in the sim, but also in real life as well. So I'm going to accept the selection because I'm interested to see what we've got as an automatic selection. Sechelt Hospital. Okay. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. So that's quite a distance. So what I'm going to do...
Patient on board, take care.
I'm going to change the hospital. And hope to hell this works, because I want to show you.
Cabin secured, ready to fly.
It's over here, isn't it? Bear with me while I do this. Bear with me. Okay, I don't think it's going to work. It's not. I guess it doesn't see it, maybe. It's such a clever program that it can see hospitals, but it can't see this one, which is a shame. So okay, we'll take that. So that's the good. Let's get that back on. Quick look at the medical diagnostic page. Heart rate. So it gives us all this information. Patient condition is critical code 1. It's code 1. It's code 1. Right. This suddenly got a lot more serious. So let's think this through. So we've got battery on, prime pumps on.
Preparing for engine starting sequence. 1, 2.
Okay. Oh, Tom, that's great. That's great. You're doing it. You're doing it in real life. Please.
Area
hope-
clear. Ready to start engine 1.
I hope you don't suffer too much from having to watch me butcher the fine arts that you do so well in real life. If you're an external view, the mission voices will not be played. Okay, cool. So we've got engine 1 starting. Excuse me.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine. Engine clear.
Oh, thank you, Tika. Tom, this is Western Europe. The server, obviously not where we are.
All engines started successfully.
Okay, that's good. So we got idle there. That's all good.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
Thank you. Don't want no leaks. Avionics on. DC receipts. VCS to pilot. Pitot heat on. Why not? We've got all the lights on. Let's put the landing light on, and that is all good. And let's have the engines to flight. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of yakking. In real life, we would be doing this a lot quicker.
Okay, all good.
Now, let's have a look. I'm not getting any... Okay, there's no line pointing at the hospital. No, you didn't see it. My screen just went black again. So I'm just going to quickly check. Have I got that set up? Hospital. So that is selected. Okay. Well, normally, if I don't get a line, that means that something isn't quite right. So we'll see. Oh, okay, so we've got starting sequence completed. Performance to wait for co-pilot to board again. So he has boarded. He's back in again. He's done his checks. I wonder if it's locked up a bit. So anyway, what we'll do is I'm going to fly, and we will see what happens. I've got a feeling though something has gone wrong. You might be using hard settings. Kekus just said if you don't see the route. No, we saw the route coming here. So I'd expect to see the route. Wrong one. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm just going to I'm just going to fly, but I do have a nasty feeling that it's something is disconnected somehow. But we'll give it a try. Oh, cheers, Keka. So let's just have a quick look. So we need to get over that way. Okay. Let's concentrate on flying for a moment. Keep away from the wires. Back away from the vehicles. Wind is over here. Just watching out for other helicopters. Yes, Andrew. I actually don't know, but I've selected the original hospital, and I've checked that that hospital is loaded up in the route, and it is. So I'm not sure why it's there, but I've still got this message on the bottom saying wait for co-pilots aboard again. But he's jumped back in and he's done his check. So I have a feeling that maybe this mission has gone. Has frozen up or something's gone wrong, but that's fine. We'll fly to the hospital. If they're not there to greet us and take the patient, we'll just restart it again. So I'm just going to try and contour around this mountain a bit. I see you, Tom. I think one of the incredible things about this sim is, oh blimey, just how realistic the, compared to previous sims, just how realistic the ground is. Tom, did you join after we left Squamish? Did you see Squamish, or have you seen the Burning Blue designed Squamish that we're using? Be interested to know what you think.
500.
Ah, great stuff. Good. Now I just remembered something. Last time I was up in this area doing HEMS on a stream, we were up just north in Whistler, and in real life this aircraft has no anti-icing capability, and we flew into cloud and we got icing. Luckily HPG have built some kind of anti-icing into it, so I was able to do something about that, but I might have to use it again. I am beginning to think it would have been better to have maybe gone down the valley and kept the speed up and then come around, but we'll see. I'm trying to keep a balance between
500.
climbing, let's contour around here a bit, climbing and having some speed to get the patient to the hospital, especially seeing as they're code 1, which is not good. Sorry, Tom. Standard MSF, standard MSFS Squamish Airport. Is that what you've seen? What have we got round here? That is rather high, isn't it? There's mountains and then there's mountains, and Canada certainly has them. Right, so let's just put that there. I'm going to keep the climb in. Pop that on. Keeping the climb in on the autopilot. No, no you don't. Okay, I'm going to hand fly it. Trying to strike a balance between a good rate of climb and some forward speed, and also obviously make sure we miss that big rocky thing in front of us. Roberto, hello! Norway, another beautiful country. Yeah, that's very true. High altitude wouldn't be great. We're not so high that we need to worry about... Oh, hello. Sorry, the tracking went a bit then. Interesting. Okay. So now let's just try something. There we go. Just looking for a way of getting over these mountains. Look at that. The kind of thing I love about doing these missions also is that because you never know where it's going to take you, there's no element of real kind of pre-planning, so you get to see some really interesting scenery as well. Evening, Andrew. Yes, it's quite a distance to the hospital. I have a feeling, just to pre-warn you, that when we get there, there's not going to be any crew. I do think this mission has frozen or gone wrong, and it could be that when I tried to select the other airport, that was what crashed it. Hospital. It's something I've only done once before, and it kind of worked then. That's the only disappointing thing about MSFS, is sometimes you get these kind of quite odd, where the photo scenery does look a little bit P3D-ish, and then other parts look absolutely stunning. Synthetic vision on, just in case. Oh wow, Tom, no pressure for me then. You are the real deal.
500.
It won't come as any surprise to you.
Reduce collective now.
Yeah, I have. It won't come as any surprise to you that I haven't done this for real. I don't have any kind of real-world helicopter or medical training to speak of. Tom, just out of interest, you were saying about head injury and altitude. What
500.
What altitude would you consider in the real world too high for doing this sort of thing? And I guess would you in the real world, would you have stayed at a lower altitude and just kind of gone round the long way? Right. That synthetic vision is such a help.
Watch out! Reduce collective! Now! Watch out! Reduce collective! Now! Watch out! Reduce collective! Now!
I have. Bear with me. Right. Okay, so I'm going to head. What we'll do is head over that way. Let me lock that off. Oh, you don't use it, Keka? I started using it. First of all, I wanted to learn to kind of hand fly, obviously with the stability and everything in there, but not using alt heading and that sort of thing. But I've started using it more recently, more so because I actually got some criticism from real world Airbus pilots saying that, you know, you would of course use it. That's the whole point of having it on the helicopter, especially doing missions like this, is you would of course use the autopilot functionality. So I try and use it a bit more. It also helps when you've got a mug of tea that you're trying to drink. But yeah, it's a shame that the mission is broken. Let me just have a quick look. Trying to think if there's a way that you can actually look in there to see if it's still running, and I can't think of one. Certainly not getting any updates on the patient, which, you know, you might not get if the patient's not deteriorating. They're not going to give updates. That's still the same. What about hospital? So we've got the right hospital. That's all good. That's okay. So it's, I mean, it kind of, on the one hand it looks like it's all set up, but on the other hand it doesn't. Swim and climb? No, I haven't, but I would love to, because it is such a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, even in the simulator. It just hit so much of the FLI limits. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, because the so I'm just responding to Keka. The co-pilot got off. He did this. He did the engine starts. He said that he was doing the leak checks, and then he got back in the cabin, and I'm sure he said, "Good to go." You know, whatever it is, whatever the script is. So I don't know. That all sounded like it was working, but I do wonder if maybe me faffing about. Maybe I was faffing about looking at the hospital options at a point where, you know, me clicking around kind of through it. Now let's have a quick look here. Now the synthetic vision is giving the impression that we're not in too much trouble, but that looks like a big pile of rock up ahead. That's not too bad, actually. Not too bad. Yeah, Whistler's nice in here as well. I was talking about earlier the I did a stream from Whistler doing HEMS and stuff. And it's beautiful up there as well. There's a freeware Whistler pack, I seem to remember. Right, I've just seen Keka's. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, mate. Let me give that a try. So, let's lock it off. So I'm going to go dispatch info, change hospital. Select hospital. Accept. So I've got that. I'm going to accept destination. So I've not got the line, but it has cleared that message that was down there. So let's see what happens. That's slightly more encouraging than it was before. A little bit. Still got that down there, so I'm not so sure. Right, let's get that out.
500.
It should pop up a banner. Yeah, all it says is reach selected. Okay, let's try that again. It did do that before, but let's do it again. And I'll show you, because of this lag, the lag between the chat and what I'm doing. I'm not sure if it works. So it's got the hospital in there. So I'm going to change hospital. I'm going to select the hospital. Let's zoom in. It's come up with there. I'm going to accept destination. And yeah, we'll see. The fact that it says reach selected destination is positive, but it's just the fact that there's no line. It might not mean anything. The last live stream I did, a similar thing happened. The first mission, there was no line on the map, and then when we got to it was actually to go to the casualty, and when we got to the casualty, there was no assets or anything there, and realised that the mission had gone out. So that was on a different version. This is on the latest test version that's on the Discord. What I'll do, Keka, is when we get to the hospital, if we're not in a, if it doesn't come back to life, or if it just dies, I'll just restart the whole thing. And at least we knew that we got to the hospital. At least we flew there. Let's just have a quick look around. Everything's good. Fuel is good. I went 100% fuel, which is something I don't normally do. So we are quite heavy from that point of view, especially with the patient on board. Increase the speed a little bit. Super Climb, I lived in Vancouver Island for 11 years, however I'm back in Europe at the moment to look after family, dual citizen, so I might be going back in the spring. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never been to Canada, but obviously, like a lot of people who are into aviation, watched Ice Pilots and all that sort of thing. And it just looks like such a beautiful country. Okay. Oh. Sorry, Tom. I was reading your post there, and I pressed the wrong button. Your group is not visible to me on the West server. Oh, okay. So, right, it's the Western European server. It's not the Western USA server. So just check you're on Western European. Right, let's get the autopilot off. Then we can start our descent and we'll have a look. Now, I checked out Squamish Hospital. I haven't checked this one out. I was checking it out because I've got no specific scenery for it. I wanted to check if we had a helipad actually in the MSFS world, and we did, and it's quite an interesting one, which is why I'm a little bit gutted we can't actually select it as an option, because yeah, I just thought it was quite interesting. But this will do. Try to assign the dispatch status to on the way to the hospital. Oh, you genius. Of course, I hadn't thought of that. Right, just going to pop it back onto autopilot. So, yeah, what Keck is referring to is, and I never use it. Let's lock it off. But, like with everything, there's like a manual thing. So, okay, so it's on the way to the hospital. So it looks like that's already set up. Okay, so that's promising.
2 nautical miles from the hospital.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. I love it. That's good. So we've got a call there, which, yeah, the mission's still active. We just didn't get a line on the map. That's fine. We're way too high from faffing about. But that's brilliant. I'm really pleased. Okay, let's cancel the autopilot. Whoa! Sorry everyone in the back. Let's get control again. I think that was a combination of me holding down trim release and cancelling the autopilot at the same time. It all went a bit pear-shaped for a moment then. So we've got a huge amount of height that we need to lose. I can see wind indication, but of course at this altitude it might be different to on the ground. I've actually had that before, flying fixed wing, where, okay, my screen's just gone black again. I wonder why it's doing that. I can see that it's not happening in the stream. But every now and again my LG C3 just suddenly goes black, like it's lost the signal from the GPU. Yes, sorry, I was waffling on. So yes, I was flying fixed wing, and I was using stay intentions, and they'd given me a runway to land on, and when I looked across at my little nav map, the wind direction was the almost opposite to the winds and the direction that they'd given me, that ATC had given me, and I thought, well, something's not right here. So I actually ignored ATC and went off the wind the little nav map was showing me, bearing in mind that it was showing me what the wind was at that particular time. And of course, as I got to about, God, it must have only been about 500 feet, the wind suddenly switched to match what ATC had told me. So you had that kind of, and I know, you know, people who know far more about these things than I do have said that the wind layers in MSFS aren't always logical. So that's why I'm just a little bit cautious, but looking at it now, we're heading into wind, heading towards the hospital. I'm probably wasting time here. I'm sure Tom will be thinking if we did that for real, we'd be in trouble, especially with the patient that's at the highest critical level. But we've lost the height. Came in high from all that faffing about. I am chuffed to bits that the mission seems to be working. So the only thing we've got to worry about now is what have we got? What have we got in the way of a helipad at this hospital? Because we're relying on MSFS to provide us with a photo scenery helipad that's flat and doesn't have trees and all that sort of thing on it. So we'll see. Wind is good, so we've still got heading into wind. A real-world helicopter pilot and instructor very kindly gave me a bit of one-on-one time recently, and one of the most important and useful things he taught me was just to relax on the controls, smooth, slow inputs, don't be jerking inputs around. So that's what I try and do.
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
So we're still into wind. So I'm looking at that on the map. You can see that like a crosshair with a dot. So I'm just following that to make sure we're going in the right place, and still wondering what we're going to have in the way of a helipad. There's lots of posts, pylons, all the kind of stuff that helicopters love to get caught up in their rotors. I'm not seeing a helipad at the moment, so I'll just keep on the approach, watch out for those wires. I'm still looking for a helipad and still trying to fly. Okay. Is that it? Okay, I can see the stretchers. Right, so okay, classic example here of where MSFS can stitch you up. It's put an autogen building on the helipad. But I can see the crew. So bear with me. This is a little bit awkward now, because I've got to find somewhere to land. Yeah, the building is right there. Okay, let's come away from the wires and let's get a better look at this. Oh, watch out for the Chinook. Come round the Chinook. And I want to get a good look at that landing site. Yeah, you can see that building there with the solar panels on it. You can see the circle of the helipad. Such a shame. Such a shame that the one in Squamish isn't available, because that does have a visible helipad and it's kind of cool. So anyway, let's get rid of that. I'm going to try and get as close as I can so that it triggers the the unloading. Actually, I can... be a little bit unconventional, but I want to be as close to those guys as I can possibly get. Of course, in real life, one of the great things about having a crew is that they would be able to call out your obstacles. Right, let's lock that off.
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, you are clear to start operations.
Okay, pumps are off, strobe off, landing light off, 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 off. ABCS off. That's all good. Come back down here. Okay. No, meant to. Right. There we go. That's all off. As I said before, I need to keep the battery on just so we can keep our mission updated. I don't want to break anything. Let's pop outside. There's our landing pad. Thank you, MSFS. There's the lads having a chat, talking about the patient. Pop back in a second. Well, I'm quite relieved that we got here with the patient intact, I've got to say. One of the things I love about this is the random and anywhere element is so true, because you never quite know what's going to happen. And I've had flights before where suddenly they say you've got to land, you've got to do, because they've got to do CPR. And it's those little things that what I really love about this mod is that when you start using it, you don't know what you're going to get, and just because you picked the patient up, it's not then a question of flying A to B. You don't know what's going to happen on the way. Is the patient going to deteriorate? Are you going to have to land so that they can deliver CPR? I've also had flights where when you start the mission, you've got to go and pick up, you know, like helimed hoist crew and that kind of thing. So you never know what you're going to get. I love it. Something you may have noticed is we've got the skip paperwork thing here. Like I said, everything is timed, everything is simulated. So at the moment they're unloading the patient in the hospital, and our doctor, or our kind of senior medical person, I guess, has gone in with them to do the handover. It's all simulated, and it gives you as the pilot a chance to have a breather and have a cup of tea and all that kind of thing. Angel 15, hello sir, good to have you here. So I'm just having a catch up with the chat now. Yes, the Chinook went hardcore and landed on the building. Scotland. Oh. Do you know, I'm English, but when I was younger, I spent some years at Lossiemouth, and I absolutely fell in love with Scotland, and now I try and get there at least once a year, get up into the Cairngorms, and I almost feel like an imposter, because I feel more at home there than I do in a lot of places in England, which is my country. but there's just something about it, and it's not just the kind of shortbread tin kind of thing that you get when you go on holiday. Having lived up there, you see it in all its kind of wild kind of, trying to think of the word that I'm looking for. You see it for what it is, and the wild beauty of it, as well as when you get a nice sunny day and the heather's purple and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm waffling, but I normally do when I start talking about Scotland. Okay. I guess all this rescue stuff will be defaulting. Yeah, well, I'd be interested to see what they do swim and climb. I can't help but think that MSFS are not going to have something as detailed as this. They're going to have a mission profile of some sort, but I just can't see them going into the same kind of detail. And I do genuinely feel for anyone who's on Xbox, because you can't do this on Xbox because you have to have the Hype Operations app and all that sort of thing. At the moment anyway, you can't do it on Xbox. So I can't. I'd be interested to see what MSFS do with it. Anyway, let's pop outside since we're here, and let's. Oh, we've got an H145. Gee, I've been so focused on the flying, I haven't seen who's here. So we've got Cranach Isle, we've got Wombleway, Mazinki, Plants on top. We've got Ado in the Chinook. Always good to have a backup Chinook. Actually, I don't know why it suddenly popped into my head. I think because I was going to say the Chinook, of course, has got all the snacks in it, but Tom, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, Poutine. Oh, there's our guy coming back. There he is, jumping back in. Poutine. That looks gorgeous.
Cabin secured, ready to fly.
Receive new dispatch. Yeah, Poutine. Amazed there's no way you can get that. Cableway gondola fallen on ground, injured have been reported. We'll take it. So we're starting the new mission now, and this is what you can do. You can just keep going for as long as you want. Right, dispatch has been notified, so we're just letting this this do its thing.
Cabin preparations, please wait.
Okay, let's get the... It's interesting. There we go. Get my head
Due to
tracking.
impervious conditions of the accident site, we should evaluate to call on board expert heli-rescuers.
Here we go!
Use the tablet to decide if we continue alone, or if we take the heli-rescuers.
Ah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
The proposed meeting point seems far away from accident site. I believe we should arrange another feasible meeting point.
Okay. 143 nautical miles. Good God, no. Okay. HR pickup point distance on accident site. Okay, where can I... how can I change that now? How can I change that? Damn. I got so excited, I think I clicked on something I probably shouldn't have done. So basically, let me come back to... So it's a heli rescuer. So he's the expert that we're going to dangle down under the rope, and then we can go and do the rescuing. Problem is, he is way over there, and that is just too far. Oh no, you can't change after you accept. Oh, damn it! Damn it! Okay, we're going to have to cancel. So we're going to cancel the mission. Yeah, I was too eager clicking around there. So we'll abort the mission and we'll start again. Damn! But that's the kind of thing it does. That's the kind of thing it does. And I don't know what I think it's very clever. I don't know what logic, so I don't know what it chooses as the point at which you would pick up the heli rescuer, because it looks at things on the map, and I don't know if maybe there's a real world mountain rescue centre there or something like that. On the Isle of Man you get, yeah, exactly, poutine, chips, cheese and gravy. Although I think poutine is isn't the cheese, it's not quite cheese, it's like curd, so I'm not sure how different that would be. I don't know if that would be more like is that more like halloumi? I don't know. Swim and climb, yes, you can. Basically you can go anywhere. You can do it in all around the world and it will adapt to wherever you are. Yep, Newfoundland, you could definitely do it. You can do it anywhere, as long as you've got, if you imagine the map, so as long as you've got logical places like a hospital, and I guess areas where the program's going to look at it and say, right, well that would be that's a road. We've got a road traffic accident on there. Then you know that is all going to work for you. James, MSFS seems adamant in placing buildings on. Yeah, it's frustrating that. As I say, the one at Squamish was. I haven't got a picture to show you. An executive plane has performed an emergency landing. Injured have been reported. Right, where's that?
Securing the equipment.
Where is that going to take us? Cheers, one more way. Good to have you along, mate. Take care of yourself. Right, let's get things going again. So we still got power, position lights anti-collision. Let's have the strobe on, and let's have the prime pumps on.
Engine starting sequence.
Quick look at everything else. Okay, he's jumped out. Do the old 1-2.
Cabin preparations completed.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 1.
Waiting info about rescue vehicles present, so no one's got there yet. See where it is. Okay, so it's taking us further away from Squamish. It's actually taking us across there, so we've got a water crossing, which isn't going to be quite so interesting.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine.
Just have me look over here at the instruments.
Engine clear.
Yeah, no, Keka, the voice is really good. Voice is it's a lot more natural, and let's just get rid of the. There we go.
All engines started successfully.
Okay, let's watch him. Just going to see if it does what it did before. He's off to do his leak checks.
Performing leak checks.
There you go. So I'm just going to listen to him.
Okay, all good.
So he's done that and it's gone. Brilliant. And we've got our line, so that's working. So engines to flight. You noticed his uniform changed. Unfortunately, as soon as the crew get out of the vehicle, then it goes to the default mode or default skin for the crew. I should say this is I haven't even talked about it yet, have I? Studying so this repaint is let's get airborne and then I'll talk about it. Let's get our priorities right. Okay, quick look around, everything's looking okay, engines, instruments are good, fuel is good, and we've got nothing down there, so let's go. Buildings, wires. Taking off with the tailwind, which isn't very clever, but the wind is... Oh, actually, no, it's picked up. I was going to say the wind is negligible. Wind is actually 7 knots. 8 knots now. So really, I should have picked it up, spun around, and headed into wind.
VY.
Okay, there we go, and let's get the trying to get the click spot for, there we go. So what have we got? 60 years female, an executive plane performed an emergency landing, injuries being reported, waiting info about rescue vehicles presence, symptoms, in shock after allergic reaction. It's serious. Could have got into anaphylactic shock. That's why we bring the Chinook. We've got extra supplies of the old EpiPens in there, so we'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, we've... I mean, this is why I almost feel it's almost a little bit unfair, because you're watching this, and hopefully it kind of comes across, but it's so damn immersive. The fact that I'm not just flying A to B, I'm flying to the patient. The patient could be deteriorating as we're getting there. It just adds a whole new bunch of layers to the to what you're doing. Yeah, so I was going to talk about, let's come out here, just have a quick check. Yeah, okay, so let's have a look. So this is my favorite repaint. This is a tribute repaint to 84 Squadron that operate out of RAF Akrotiri, and this was actually painted on a Griffin, which is now gone, and I think now they're using, I think they might be using Super Pumas now. But I love this. I mean, it's purely fictional. The Royal Air Force up in Canada doing HEMS work. It's purely fictional, but it's a simulator. So what the hell? You can do what you want. But I love the repaint anyway. And when I'm in Scotland, I fly the Scottish Air Ambulance up there as well sometimes. Right, I need to catch up with the chat. Let's just... There we go. Casey, if you have any feedback, Casey, if you're part of the team, it's a great job. Okay. Excuse me. I would like to add the radio effect. Yeah, well, that'd be cool. Depending on the position of the crew. Wow, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So a bit like Say Intentions, I guess, where if you're in a... Is that if you've got a lot of buildings around or something like that, it will affect the quality of the radio. That sounds pretty cool. By the way, if I've missed a comment by anybody, I do apologise. I'm trying to keep track on it on that screen over there, but it's yeah, trying to concentrate on flying as well. So this kind of flying isn't the most exciting. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more speed. Flying over water. This is one of those moments where back then what I could have done, because ideally I kind of wanted to go back Squamish way, would be to have I could have manually selected where we wanted to go, but I'm kind of doing this in the spirit of random and anywhere. We've got to take whatever mission it gives us. For that is what we're doing. So just bring up the medical diagnostic page. So at the moment we've still got a lot of unknowns. Because obviously no ground unit has got there yet, and again that's one of the things that, I mean, you know the score now. You saw it on the last one. Once the ambulance or the police arrive and someone's actually assessed it, we'll get some more information on the state of the patient. You saw before how we had code 5 because the first one, because the patient assigned emergency was code 5 as it is now, because no one had actually got there yet and had a proper look. Once they do, that's when it all starts getting a little bit more serious. Kickers, yes, the co-pilot doing the outside checks would have the slap and wind sound added. Same for the hoist operator if the ground crew is calling the pilot. Oh, the wind sound as well. Blimey. It's kind of part you should do. That's, wow. That would be great. That would be pretty amazing. It's all these little things, and again this is what I love about this mod, is it adds all these little things that just add to the immersion and make it feel so much more realistic. Obviously it's easy to say that when you're sitting in the spare room of your house with a big mug of tea, and not doing this for real. But I know that there are real world HEMS pilots that are flying this and are enjoying it, so it can't be that bad. Cheers JCP Cran, thanks for joining, much appreciated mate, glad you enjoyed it. While I'm just doing this over the water, let me just pop this in the chat again, just for anyone who's joined a bit later. So Andrea, who has built the Random and Anywhere mods, has now got a Discord, and I've just put a link in the chat there now. So if you are using Random and Anywhere and you didn't know that he's got a Discord, it is a fairly new thing and it's still in development, but or if you're interested in getting it, maybe you've got a few questions, pop along to his Discord. A really nice guy. He's actually a I'm pretty sure it's Airbus, I think it's H160, but he's a real world pilot flying instructor, so he knows his stuff, and I think you can tell by the amount of detail that he's put into the mod and the amount of work he does, and he's constantly improving it, troubleshooting, adding new features to it. It's just absolutely staggering the amount of detail he puts into it. But yeah, pop along to the Discord. So we can see what we're heading for here. Excuse me. Doing so much talking, I'm getting a bit of a cough. What's the time? Okay, so we've been doing it for an hour 40 minutes. Hopefully the guys that are flying along as well on the server see the 500E there. I love the 500E. I hope you're having a good flight as well. I know anyone joining and flying can't see the mission assets, can't see the ambulances and all that sort of thing, but at least you can join. And I think, you know, like I was saying earlier on, what I love about this is you don't know where you're going to go. I wouldn't have planned to come over here, to be honest, because flying over water for you guys isn't all that interesting. But who knows, you know, what it could bring. I love that element of the unexpected. I used to a lot of the earlier videos on the channel using the action pack expansion were missions that I had built, so I knew what to expect. I knew when I got there I was going to have a nice landing site. I knew what vehicles were going to be there. With this I don't know what to expect, and sometimes a bit like when we went to the hospital just before, you suddenly find out that there's someone's built the bloody Pizza Hut on your helipad. James, I am not the how can I say this? I'm not the right person to put it in the hype Discord. I believe Andrea is going to do that fairly rapidly, but I will leave that to him to put it in there. But I will be incidentally, if you're watching this, if you're watching the recording of this, the link will be in the description down below if you want to join there as well.
Ambulance with no paramedic, police, fire engine. Confirmed on scene.
Okay. Keke, these voices are great. These voices are really good. So much more lifelike. I love it. Yeah, so we now know, and let's get the. There we go. I'll leave that on there. So we've got an ambulance on the scene. We've got a fire engine and police. The ambulance doesn't have a paramedic, so they're kind of quite limited to a certain extent in what they can do. Although with this being an allergy, you know, EpiPen, give her a jab and off you go. Although it could be a lot more. Look at me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a doctor. yeah, just get the EpiPen, give him a whack, give him a pat on the back and a biscuit and send him off.
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient. Infos are available on tablet. We can confirm or change later.
Okay, it's going to take us up the coast. I'm just going to go with the flow on this. I'm not going to start messing about, and it's not that far away. And we'll see what we get. So we can see the flare up ahead, or the orange smoke.
2 nautical miles from accident area.
Okay, let's take the autopilot off now. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Keke, you're absolutely right. I should say, by the way, Andrea has given permission to give away the link in the stream. By the way, I'm not just spamming it without checking with him, but yeah, it's up to him to post it in the Discord.
We are approaching the landing site.
So this is rather nice. It's at an airport, so we got no worries about tight areas. There's the wind. Wind is corresponding nicely with the windsock. Watch out for the Chinook. There we go. So this is going to be fairly good. FPS has just dropped. I guess that must be maybe multiplayer, perhaps. Get rid of the screen for a moment. Sorry, Kecker. Try a hard landing, then I'll leave.
We are reasonably close.
Okay, you want me to do a hard landing, as much as it goes against everything in my body, I presume, because something's going to happen. Oh God. Okay, hard landing coming up. Okay, that wasn't hard enough. Okay. Sorry, Kecker.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Kecker. It's really interesting having you along, you know, and thanks to you also for working on these sounds. The voice pack, it is
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, you are clear to start operations.
it is quite wonderful. Okay.
We need time for ground operations, please. Stand by.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. You can crack on. Seeing as we are on an active runway, well, it's not active at the moment. I'm going to leave the position lights and the anti-collision. I'm going to leave the strobe on as well. Everything else is okay. And like I said before, but I know people join at different times. I am not shutting everything down completely because I don't want to lose the connection between the radio and the mission pad here. I don't want to break anything, and I'm sure if I do turn the battery off, it will break that connection and we'll lose the mission. There's the lads working on the patient there. Should we open the door and get some fresh air, boys? Yes, Centurion, absolutely. I can absolutely recommend it. Just to recap, in case anyone didn't see the beginning, this is the High Performance Group H145 base pack with their action pack expansion, and then the random and anywhere, or the HEMS random and anywhere mod from flightsim.to by davierosoft, and then we've got Kecker's voice pack, and then we've got M. Gonzalez helicopter sounds pack, so just improves the sound of the engines and a couple of other bits and pieces, doesn't it, mate? What do you think? Listen, you were very chatty before we started the stream, so don't suddenly, you know, go all Mr. Cool and not talking. All right, let's lock off the head. Time for a slurp of tea and a catch up with the chat. Cheers, Graham. Thanks for joining. It is wonderful, and it always never ceases to amaze me that me messing around doing this sort of thing, people are kind enough to join and watch. I do appreciate it. So he's coming back. Okay. He's coming back to get the stretcher. It doesn't always mean, by the way, and I know some of you guys use this, so you know that. I'm just saying, you know, for people that don't use it, you aren't always necessarily going to be transporting the patient. Sometimes you get the critical care to the patient, and the decision might be taken that it's easier to take the patient in the ambulance to the hospital, and your crew might get back on board and off you go. Also, what might happen is that your doctor might stay with the patient on the ambulance, and then you have to fly to the hospital to collect the doctor once he gets there with the patient. because he's staying with the patient in the ambulance giving the critical care. So there's all sorts of different things happening. There's all sorts of different variables, which is what makes it interesting. Here we go. So the lads are getting back on board. I'm going to accept that. Keka was right. When you're in outside view, you don't hear the crew talking to you. So I just had the message there to accept the hospital destination.
Patient on board. Take care.
Okay. First things first. Let's turn the head tracking back on. Boom. Right, battery is on because we've done that. We've got lights on there.
Cabin secured, ready to fly.
That's no, not that. Transfer. No.
Preparing for engine starting sequence. 1, 2.
This is what happens. Got to get in the zone. Get in the zone and focus. There he goes. Popping outside.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 1.
Let's have engine 1. Just lock that off. Okay, instruments looking good. We're now idle, just waiting for co-pilot to do his thing.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine. Engine clear.
A nice collection of helicopters up here actually. Let's close that.
All engines started successfully.
Oh, question. Have we got any real world helicopter pilots in the chat still? I think Tom's gone.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
I have a question. Just catching up with Andrew. 224 come out of my boy's birthday, so guess who's got loads of cool. Well done. I'll be getting this when they update it. Yeah, definitely worth it. Does the 145 have a rotor brake fitted? It does. It does. Right there. If you want to use that, I was just letting him waft. Waft. That's a technical term, folks. Let's focus on the patient. Yeah, I was just letting it slow up naturally, but you can pull the rotor brake. We'll do that at the hospital. Let's get down here. Boom, boom, boom. Quick check of everything. No warning lights. Engine instruments are fine. That's all good. Right. Wind. We're heading into wind, so that's nice. Now what we probably do need to do is have a bit of consideration for the chaps on the ground here, so I'm not going to take off and fly over them. Oh, don't know where he came from. So we're going to do a Harrison Ford and we're going to use a taxiway.
VTOS.
Cheers, chaps.
VY.
And I don't think it's too far to the hospital. I love the way, I should say this is Rexaki season, so got some really nice fall trees coming in. Or autumn if you're from the good old UK.
Alt A crossing.
There we go. And we're on the way. Right, how is it all looking? Good, good. Right, let's do a quick one ping only. Wow. We're getting a flyby by the Dark Star or whatever it's called. So we've got a few chaps that are still on the ground. I can hear another helicopter. There we go. Ado in the backup Chinook. Good to see you there. Always important to have plenty of biscuits. Oh, we've got a Huey there as well. That Taugs Hangar Huey is blooming gorgeous. Really is nice. Andrew, cool. We used to run the engines up to ground idle, release the brake. Oh, hello. We used to run the engines up to ground idle, release the brake, advance to flight idle, and accelerate the blades rapidly to reduce the risk of rotor slap and impact. Oh, okay. I'll have to check the. Was that on the H145? I'll check the. I'll have a check of the checklist. I think on this you check that the rotor brake is off at the beginning. I don't think you leave it on until you're up to idle, but I will double check that. So Andrew, are you a real world helicopter pilot? Because I have got a question for you that you might know the answer to. I'm suspecting by what you said there that you are. Look at that Chinook. It's criminal how I've got the Chinook, but I rarely fly it. I have so little time to fly in the sim these days, I don't get to fly everything that I've got. But I went out and bought the Chinook. Because it's something that I see fairly regularly in real life on a daily basis, so I thought it'd be quite nice to have one that I could fly around. Thank you, Andrew. So I take it you've seen my landings maybe from before. So I'm going to guess that you are a real-world pilot. You've not responded to the question, so I don't know if you. Maybe you got sound down. But what I was going to ask you is this, and it reminded me because I still had the door open. You see some. I've seen YouTube videos of helicopter pilots, and this is. No, on Lynx and Gazelle. Oh wow, okay. So you'll know Shawbury. Looks like the FPS has just dropped a little bit. Quite sure what's causing that. Could be server. Seen that before. Yes, I've seen real world videos of helicopter pilots sometimes starting helicopters with the door open. I would be interested to know, I mean, is that a safety thing maybe? You know, if something goes wrong, then they can suddenly run away from the helicopter? They can jump out and run away, or is it just to cool the cabin while it all fires up? Because I know, you know, a couple of people have commented previously. I did a Huey video where I started with the door open. I wanted to hear the sounds, but also I'd genuinely seen videos of people starting real-world Hueys with the door open, you know, so it's obviously something you could do. But there's that kind of common sense party that's saying, well, surely you've got a flappy door and you've got rotors going around. Is that not going to put a strain on the door? But yeah, I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are. Was an army aircraft tech back in the day, now airline pilot. Oh, okay. Well, you might still, again, I don't know if you, oh, you must be able to hear me. Back in the day, were they starting the Lynx or the Gazelle with the door open? And if so, why? Adam, hello. Welcome to the stream. Occurred to me actually just before, I've not done any hoisting for a long time. I think what I'm going to have to do one of these days is deliberately choose a mountain thing. Excuse me. Just lock that off while I'm drinking. Okay, there's two things. Firstly, I will quickly say for Andrew, you may already know this, but there is a freeware Lynx coming to the sim, and I've not flown it myself, but by all accounts, it's really rather good. Just adjusting the altitude there. What was the? Oh yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Gazelle. I love the Gazelle. I wish there was a. It'd be great if someone like Tauk's Hangar did a Gazelle for the sim. Again, back in the mid-80s. Oh, my screen's just gone black. It's come back again. I wonder what's causing that. Back in the mid-80s. I spent some time at Shawbury for a while, and of course back then it was Gazelles there, and they always look a lot bigger in the air than they do on the ground. Incidentally, there's a really cool, here we go, not a problem, puts a bit of strain on the door hold open device. Okay, but do you know why some pilots would start with the door open? Is it a safety thing? In case they suddenly need to run away from the aircraft in a hurry. I'm not necessarily saying it's a military thing, by the way. I've only seen civilian pilots do it. Yeah, definitely wouldn't want to lose those. Very true. Yeah, I was going to say, on YouTube, you might have already seen it. I'm sure, Andrew, you've probably seen it, but just in case anyone else is interested, and I wish I could remember the name. There was a documentary years ago about teaching Army Air Corps pilots to fly. And it was in the Gazelle. It was the kind of basic helicopter. Well, actually no, it started off with teaching them fixed wing in the Chipmunk, and then it went on to the Gazelle. I'm trying to remember what it was called. flying soldiers, something like that. Yeah, it's really good, really interesting to watch. Can highly recommend it if you're interested at all in Army aviation. I love kind of military documentaries where they're looking at the training side of it, and it's a really good example of it, especially helicopters. There's so many things that you're having to think of. I mean, the great thing about something like this H145 is, like, right now I've got my hands off. It's on autopilot. If I took the autopilot off, the stability system would mean that it was still beautifully trimmed. But if you're flying something like the Gamechanger Huey or the Llama's another beautiful one, you know that with helicopters you're constantly, it's almost like a form of meditation, because you're having to really tune into the aircraft and watch what you're doing and feel what the aircraft is doing. And of course in the simulator you don't have physical feedback, and you see it in that documentary, the you know, them trying to and I remember seeing this at Shawbury as well,
2 nautical miles from the hospital.
when they are focused on trying to hover and hover taxi and all that kind of low speed maneuvering, that kind of thing, landing in my screen's just gone black and it's come back again, landing in a enclosed space, the concentration is just incredible. Sorry Andrew, I will catch up with what you're saying once we're on the ground.
500.
Let's see what we are presented with here. So I'm guessing those big buildings over there are the hospital. So at least the autogen,
Destination in sight. Medical crew is waiting on landing spot.
at least the autogen has done that. Ado and the Chinook, can you just recce the LZ for me, old chap? Otherwise I think we'll be landing on the Mackie D's. Oh, I can see a landing pad. I can see people there. Right, let's get rid of that. Beautiful. Where's the wind? That's all good. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
I just thought of something I want to say, and hopefully I can keep it in my head. Something that's really helped me. I'm trying to remember where it is now. No, yeah, it's not there. Something that's really helped me. Yeah, here it is. In terms of feeling completely connected to the helicopter and having control over it, is this collective increase,
Helicopter in position. Rear
decrease
crew, you are clear to start
step
operations.
size. So I've put that to smallest, so the smallest step size, and that is just a thing of beauty. With my Bravo throttle lever that I'm using for collective, that just feels spot on. There we go. Oh, we're a little bit. Oh, There we go. Get the right one. There's the chaps. Thank you, Ado. Right, quickly catching the chat. It was a beggar maintain. Oh, okay. There's a Scout in 2024. Yeah, do you know, I've not got the Scout. People ask me if I've got the Scout, and it doesn't appeal to me. I kind of feel like it should, but there's nothing about it that makes me think I'm going to... Sorry, I was just checking that. Yeah, there's nothing about it that makes me think I would really fly it. Sorry, so busy yakking.
Patient has been deboarded to the hospital and is safe. Patient
Bum, bum, bum. There we go. He's going to get on and say we're ready to go now. What was I going to say? Something goes. I know some of those. I don't think so. If something goes bang, you can move pretty fast. Okay. I know some of those guys. A couple of friends. Production crew concentrate on all the mistakes and embarrassing stuff. Some weren't happy with the way they... Ah, cool. Okay. Wasn't one of them. This is brilliant. It's so cool talking to someone who actually not only watched it but knows some of the guys. I seem to remember, didn't one of the students end up... wasn't he... Didn't he end up pretty high up in the Army Air Corps? I'm sure I remember reading a comment somewhere about he'd... I think he'd gone on to the Apache and he was pretty high up, or he'd done something. He'd done something of renown anyway. So yeah. Sparky, still waiting for my t-shirt when you're having a store. Sparky, I don't get any money from this. I'm not monetized. I don't sell merch. I do this purely as a hobby. I don't sell t-shirts, I'm afraid, mate. I just have one for going to air displays and trying to pimp the brand, as it were. Centurion, where are you now? Dreams of Wings. Right. Okay, let's see if this will work. I haven't used it yet on this stream, but let's see if this works. There we go. So we were in over this way. Nanaimo at the Nanaimo Regional General Hospital. Where actually are we in relation to Squamish? Fair old distance. What's the time? Yeah, I think what I'll do is, I think I'll call it a day. I was just thinking I might fly back to Squamish. But we've got that long water crossing, and I'm not sure how interesting that would actually be for you. So I don't think I'm going to inflict another long water crossing for you. But let's just let me just close that, and let's get back to the chat. Yeah, I wish I could remember which one it was. It was the guy, and I almost want to say it was one of the guys that you're absolutely right, they did focus very much on the problems. That was the drama, wasn't it? The guys that were having issues. And I want to say it was even one of the guys that supposedly was having all the issues that was the chap that ended up doing great things, but I might have that wrong. But yeah, really interesting documentary, that. If anything, it does give you a good appreciation of the complications of flying, a helicopter of that type. Right, so very unrealistically, I'm going to end the stream here on a helicopter pad. What you've got to do now is use your imagination imagine that we're flying back to Squamish, and yeah, imagine that we've landed there. But I will show you this. So the reason why I wanted to go to Squamish, just very quickly, bear with me. When I did a little test earlier on just to see how it all looked, and I went to the helipad at the hospital in Squamish, and the helipad was there. The MSFS,
Secured, ready to fly.
the MSFS helipad was there. It was quite indistinct, but it was there. And right next to it, sorry, I've just noticed that, submit report. So we'll just submit a report saying we've done our duty. Yeah, what I was quite shocked at was in the sim there was some really quite hefty overhead wires, power lines, and then you had the helipad, and I thought, God, that's a bit unfortunate. They are quite close. Surely that wouldn't be the case in the real world. So let's see if this works. There we go. So this is from this is a shot from Google Maps Street View. There is the helipad. There are the power lines. Now I've got the power lines mod from flightsim.to, so I'm not sure what this would look like without that mod in there. But you can actually see on this road here, you are pretty much under the power lines, and then the helipad is just over there. And it was one of those kind of wonderful moments that you have in the sim where you suddenly think, blimey, this sim is actually really good at representing the real world. Just when you think, well, surely that can't be the case, that can't possibly be there, and then bang, it is. So yeah, that was a pretty cool experience. Yeah, Aerodrome is here. Hello. That will be Alpha. Alpha, I've got to be honest with you, mate. Thank you ever so much for all your help with getting the Toby sorted out. Your settings made a huge difference. I tried a few different things, but I just couldn't get the same level of head tracking, crispness and accuracy that I had with traditional head tracking. So you probably noticed I've got the Grass Monkey back on, and the Toby eye tracker is over there. I'm not going to sell it on eBay just yet. I'm going to see if there's any more controls, any more settings that you can play with in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, because in talking on the Toby Discord, people keep saying, well, it's not Toby's fault that certain settings can't be used. It's down to the fact that all the controls are in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and if Asobo or Microsoft or whoever hasn't built a particular setting into the, like, I mean, this is a good example. I can move around. If I wanted to focus on that, I can lock off the head tracking, and now it's locked off. With Toby, you can't do that. And for me, that's such a basic thing. And maybe, but you know, as the guys or the people on the Toby Discord said, that's not Toby's fault. That's because Asobo haven't built that control into it. So yeah, I think maybe with 2024 we'll see that come in. Mark, yeah. Do you know, I honestly tried, and I'm not joking. Aerodrome, who's Alpha, was incredibly helpful. Gave me some really good settings, and the improvement was vast. But it just wasn't the same as, you know, if I take this off, the ability to move around, the ability to look over there without things wobbling around. I was getting movements, and then if I turned down the settings so I didn't get the movements, it seemed to be a bit laggy, and just that same feeling of, you know, being in the cockpit, being able to move around. I just wasn't getting it with the Toby, so I moved back, and honestly, it was just beautiful getting back into traditional head tracking. Now, obviously, Toby is also using eye tracking, and people have said, well, if you're using the eye tracking as well, that can actually give you better control over it. But I mean, you can't see it, but my screen, I've got a big screen over there. I've got a stick extension here, misses, which means that I'm sitting at quite a distance. So I bought the tripod and I put the Toby on the tripod so it was a bit closer, but then it couldn't see my eyes, and anyway, so I didn't use that anyway. But yeah, Track IR is or Track IR, or this is the Grass Monkey King Puck. I bought this. I'm not saying that because I was given it and I'm trying to, you know, pimp out the name, but it's a lot cheaper than Track IR, and Roger, who makes them in the US, it's 3D printed, but it just works a treat. It's really nice. I've got a video on the channel about it if you want to have a look back on that, if anyone's interested. Anyway, I could waffle on for bleeding hours about all this, but it wouldn't be very interesting for you. So a huge thank you for everyone who's joined the flight. The guys that have flown along in the helicopters with me. It's been great having you here. Thank you ever so much for watching as well. I hope it's been interesting. I do always love the conversation on these live streams. It's one of the things that you don't get with making videos. You don't get the ability to obviously talk to people, and the conversation's always interesting. I'm absolutely blessed that there are people who join these streams who are real world pilots or have some experience of this sort of thing, and you can get some really interesting conversations going. And for me, it's always about learning. I'm no expert. I don't stream or make videos because I'm an expert and I want to show you how it's done. It's actually the opposite. For me, it's all about training. It's all about learning. And I find that making videos, and also especially streaming, adds to the pressure on myself, and it helps to expose all the weak points and all that sort of thing. So it's like real world aviation is the same. You know, I have had some flying training when I was younger. It's real world aviation is you are always learning. That's the reason why Pilot Magazine has articles like "I learnt about flying from this" or whatever it's called. You never quite know. You never quite know what's going to happen. Anyway, I really do need to shut up because I'm going to go on forever. Like I said, thank you ever so much for joining the stream. It's been great having you here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one, which I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow, but I might well be streaming in the week. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, whether it'll be some more IFR ATC stuff or whether, you know, it's helicopter stuff. We will see. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. It's been wonderful having you here. Take care now, and I'll see you around soon. Bye-bye.